Chris, this is your first involvement in a Riyadh season card. What have you kind of made of them from the outside looking in so far?
I've been coming to Riyadh season events for the last, for a while now, and every time I'm there, I'm like, man, I need to get in on this. I need to get involved with these guys, man, because just the events, the fights, the advertisement, everything they're doing is just top notch. It's impressive. It's amazing. It's amazing for the fans. It's amazing for the fighters. So I always knew, I need to start fighting on these cards, and now we're here.
So now you are here. How's it feel?
Well, it's been fun so far. Training camp's gone well. I fly out to Dubai on Saturday, spend a week there just to kind of acclimatize to that Middle Eastern weather and time difference, and then I go to Saudi for the last week. I fought in Saudi in 2018, but it was a very different landscape back then. Now it's, like I said, it's kind of like the new hub of boxing, of world boxing. So I'm very excited to get in there and debut in Riyadh against a tough opponent in Kamil Szeremeta, 25-2, no slouch, got to be on my P's and Q's. Been out of the ring for a year, so it's going to be interesting and exciting to see how I feel getting back into that ring. But I'm ready, man. Feeling good.
I was going to ask you, the fact you've been out for a year, how much are you looking forward to actually getting back in a ring and fighting? Well,
at my age, it's actually a very bad thing to do, having that type of inactivity. We've seen it with fighters like Wilder, where they come off of a layoff and they're not the same guy. I don't think that's going to happen with me. In fact, I know it's not going to. But, going through that camp, going through that weight cut again, it's a must. And then I want to be active, I want to be fighting at least 2 or 3 times minimum over the next 8 months, 8 to 12 months. And His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season, these are the guys that can make that thing happen.
Obviously, you say you're confident that you will be the same fighter that you were even after a year out. What gives you the confidence? What work have you done in that 12-month out of the ring that gives you confidence you'll be the same?
Well, it's just how I'm feeling right now in my camp. I'm not noticing any differences. I'm not slowing. I'm not, my strength isn't less. My stamina's not dwindling. I have the energy. I have the passion. I have the, I have that drive still. Once that goes, then that's when you really need to start looking at, all right, maybe I should step away. And it's just, the fire is burning brighter and stronger than ever. So I'm just excited to get back into that ring and show everybody,
Do you do anything differently now in camps and things than you did earlier in your career? Have you adjusted to the fact that you are more experienced? Or does anything change at all?
For sure. That's, if you're doing the same thing you were doing 10 years ago, then you're an idiot. You haven't learned from your mistakes. You haven't improved. There's always, new things to be doing, new things to be learning, better ways to prepare, to cut weight, to train, to sleep, to eat, and you learn your body over these periods of time, and you learn what works for you and what doesn't, and you adapt and you improve. That's how you have longevity in a sport like this. The guys that don't improve, that don't learn, they burn out.
I'm curious in terms of adapting. What's a fight week like for you normally, and how does that maybe change for these Riyadh season cards? Because the fight week itself is so busy with so many big events. How does that adjust what you do in a fight week?
I haven't been in a Riyadh season fight week, so I can't actually answer that question right now.
But you'll be aware of kind of the demands, I guess, on your time leading up to it in October. Do you have any idea of how it is going to adjust how you prepare?
I'm doing my camp. I'm training how I'm supposed to train. I'm staying on schedule. When I get to Saudi, if there's things that are asked of me, then I'll have to, maneuver around that. But for right now, nothing's changing.
So cross that bridge when you come to it.
Yeah.
I know you said you fought in Saudi in 2018. In terms of the heat and the climate, how does that affect you in the ring? Like how much getting used to does that take?
Well, I don't think that climate, I hope that climate isn't going to be inside the arena.
Just like the whole week, though, obviously. Is.
Well, that's a non-factor for me because I am, Vegas is my home away from home. I grew up there. I live there. I have a house there. That type of heat is ingrained in me. Going into these gyms and the air conditioning is turned off and sometimes even the heat is turned up or the doors are opened so that the heat can be let in. Training in that, sparring in that is what I've done for years. So I am actually not the type of guy that needs to worry about adapting to the heat situation in the Middle East.
So let's talk about your opponent, Kamil Szeremeta. As you say, he's a difficult opponent. He's only 2 defeats, I think, to world champions. What
Triple G and Jaime Munguia, 2 world champions. So, the guy knows what he's doing. 25-2. He's a tough guy, and I've got to be on my P's and Q's. And if I'm not, that can derail everything I have planned, which is why I'm not looking past him, which is why I'm training my ass off every day for this guy. Because, I can't just go out there and even just win. I have to look good. I have to beat this guy convincingly. Triple G got him out there in 7 rounds. I want to get him out there in 6.
Is that kind of why you wanted an opponent like him, a tough opponent to really kind of, not sharpen you up, but having had a year out, to fight someone with real pedigree?
For sure. You've got to fight these types of guys, to stay sharp and to keep active and to start this train rolling. I have been inactive, and that's never going to happen again in my career. So this is the beginning of this inactivity stopping. And then from then on after this, big fights.
Does that only happen if you are impressive, do you think?
Yes, I have to win. And I have to win in devastating fashion and style. Because if I don't, why do I want to see Eubank fight Canelo or Conor Benn or Billy Joe Saunders or Terence Crawford? And if I can't beat this guy, why am I fighting them?
So this is kind of the opportunity to get yourself back into the big time and get your name involved in these big fights.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, there was a line you used: "I'm going to knock off all these big names and titles in the next 12 months." You still believe there's so much more for you out there in your boxing career?
And it's not that I believe it; it's there. It's what it is. We've been in talks with Canelo. We're in talks with Conor Benn and Billy Joe Saunders, and these world title holders at middleweight. So I know it's there. I've just got to do my job. I've got to perform. I've got to stay on track, stay disciplined, stay dedicated, and all these fights are going to happen.
So you mentioned a couple of names there. Then is that the hit list, so to speak? Is Conor Benn maybe the next one that you look to?
If he gets his license sorted out, then yes, that's absolutely a fight that I want next.
Is that something that would maybe fit on another Riyadh season card? Is that maybe a conversation to have with His Excellency?
Yes, it is a conversation that I have had and will continue to have with His Excellency. He's very interested in that fight, so we'll see what happens.
In terms of other names, did you see much of the fights at Wembley at the weekend?
I was there.
Yeah.
I was in the 3rd row.
What did you make of Hamza Shiraz?
I didn't see that fight. That name is not a name that I'm interested in at this moment in time. He isn't a name as of right now. He's not proven. He hasn't got a following. He needs to build himself before I can entertain fighting somebody like that. There's too many big names out there for me to be worrying about. But who knows? Maybe in a couple of years we can talk about it.
So you need him to almost step up to your level, do you think?
I don't need him to do anything. I don't care about it.
For the fight to happen, is that what needs to happen? He needs to reach your level. There's bigger names.
He needs to not be somebody that walks down the street and nobody knows who he is. And that's what he is right now.
And until that happens, you're not interested?
Absolutely not.
The other names you mentioned, how soon do you think those kind of things can happen? You say you don't want to be inactive again. So if you come through on the 12th and you're impressive, what does the next 12 months look like?
I've explained exactly what it looks like. All those names are lined up, ready and waiting over the next 12 months.
Within the next 12 months?
Yep.
I can't wait to see it happen.
Me too.
The other fights that are on this card, look at the headliner, Beterbiev and Bivol. What are your thoughts on that? It's a clash that lots of boxing fans are extremely excited about.
I think it's going to be a great fight, and I think Bivol will come away with the victory. I hope he does.
In terms of the actual fight itself, how do you see it going? Do you think Bivol is clearly better? Is it a tight fight, do you think?
I think it could actually end up being a very technical fight because they're both very strong and very tough. So it's going to come down to IQ, who can land the most shots, who can outsmart and outwit the other guy. Bivol's younger, he's fresher. So yeah, I would pick him to come away with the victory.